auto rifles, auto rifles everywhere. We're 3 days into the new season and I've already had it with all these auto rifles. Just when I thought all hope was lost for hand cannons, Bungie gave us a year one fan favorite. Okay, I'm joking about the auto rifle part. I'm not actually mad about auto rifles because let's be honest, everyone is using autos right now due to them just being buffed. But hand cannons will always be meta. Want to know why? Because they are the most favorited weapon in Destiny. I don't care if hand cannons suck, like if Bungie nerfs them into the ground and it takes 20 shots to kill someone. Okay, 20 shots is a little bit much, but you know what I'm saying. People are stubborn and they're gonna use what they like, and most people like hand cannons just like myself. Now, if you've been into the Crucible lately, more specifically competitive, you might have noticed being killed by a hand cannon you've never heard of before, Dire Promise. So today, I, Senior myfi, am going to go over how to get your hands on the Dire Promise, then the God Roll you're going to want to look for or go after for the Dire Promise, and finally put this hand cannon up against the current king of hand cannons, Spare Rations. But before we do get started, if you're new, and only if you enjoy the videos, then be sure to subscribe. Also, I get asked all the time if I have a Twitter, because I never really shout it out. I think I've shouted it out like once. And I indeed do have a Twitter. So if you want to go over and drop the boy a follow, it'd make my day. Okay, enough of all the plugs. Let's get into this hand cannon. So, for anyone that's wondering what the Dire Promise is, well, let me inform you. Dire Promise is a 150 RPM kinetic hand cannon from year one. Now, as many of you may know, all guns in year one had static perks or static rolls, pretty much meaning that the roll you got, everyone got because there wasn't random rolls. But as of Season of Dawn, Bungie started bringing some of these year one weapons back by giving them random rolls and putting them into the world drop loot pool. Now, how do you get your hands on this brand new-ish hand cannon? Well, it's quite simple actually. It's a world drop. What this means is that it can drop from really any source, but the best way to get it right now is going over to Master Raoul and burning shards. But I must warn you to be careful, as you will become addicted until you're eventually left with little to no shards, just like me. Okay, I fell for it, boys. I burned all my shards again. It's the last hope all over again. And yeah, I burned through 3,000 shards last night on stream, and I was able to get 5 Dire Promises. I think that's the correct term, right? Dire Promises? Whatever. I got 2 god-awful rolls, 2 decent rolls, and then 1 pretty good roll. Now, speaking of rolls, let's get into what rolls you're gonna want to be looking for, okay? Because this one's kind of a weird one, honestly. For column 1, we have 6 sights, fast draw and steady hand for that big increase to handling, crossfire, sure shot, and hit mark for that big increase to range, and then true sight for a little bit of both range and handling. I would recommend going after true sight due to it having an increase to range and handling, but also stability and aim assistance with no drawbacks. Or you could also go after Sure Shot for the most range increase in this column, with the only drawbacks being handling and stability. Now for column 2, we have 8 perks, but we're only going to be going over 3 of them because the other 5 suck and I can't be bothered to even talk about them. High caliber rounds for that increase to range and weapon flinch / knockback. Ricochet rounds for an increase to range, but also stability, which is very nice, especially for all you out there on console. I got your back, console. I'm going to start including some good things for you all because I've had some people complaining that I only cover rolls for PC. So I'm going to start sprinkling in some good console rolls here and there. I'm going to pizzazz it up a little bit, okay? And finally, light mag for that increase to both range and reload speed. Then column 3, and this is where we're going to start getting a little weird like I mentioned earlier. Now, if you've watched any of my previous God Roll videos, then you would know column 3 is where you'd find our reload perk, but not here. In column 3, we have 5 perks: triple tap, opening shot, autoloading holster, snapshot sights, and overflow. Now let's get rid of the garbage perks real quick. So bye-bye triple tap and bye-bye autoloading holster. Now let's take a look at what we're left with. Opening shot, which is going to improve accuracy and range on the opening shot of an attack. Snapshot sights, which is one of my personal favorite neutral game perks, as it just allows you to ADS or aim down sights lightning fast. Then finally, Overflow, which as of recently I have fallen in love with. You pick up special or heavy ammo and now your mag goes from 11 to 23. That more than doubles your mag. Now I think all of these perks are fantastic, but if you want my honest opinion, I would have to say Opening Shot is the best, followed by Overflow, and then finally Snapshot. Normally, I would rank Snapshot above both of these, but this gun is already so snappy, it already feels like it has Snapshot on it. And then Overflow is fantastic, but I think Opening Shot is just the best of the best. Now, column 4, I only see one perk worth going after, Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler, in my opinion, is at the bottom of the tier list when it comes to damage perks, but it's the only damage perk we got here. Your other 4 options are Rangefinder, Under Pressure, Osmosis, and Elemental Capacitor. Osmosis and Elemental Capacitor can take a fat hike. Under Pressure is nice, as it's very easy to just keep blasting when it comes to 150 hand cannons, but if you're someone that is a chronic reloader like myself, then it's not really going to benefit you that much. Now, Rangefinder I absolutely hate, and that's because it increases your magnification zoom when you ADS. Now, for players on console, this is not a problem, as you will notice no difference, but for someone that plays on PC at max FOV, like myself, well, ADSing with a hand cannon that has Rangefinder on it is like going 100 miles per hour then slamming on the brakes. But to reiterate, if you're on console, then Rangefinder is a great option. Now back to my top pick, Swashbuckler. This perk takes 5 kills to reach its maximum damage output at 33%. But there is a twist. You can bypass the 5 kills needed by just getting 1 melee kill, which will automatically put you at ×5 Swashbuckler. Now if you watched my artifact video that I put out a few days ago, then you would know that Thunder Coil has returned. And when pairing it with something like, I don't know, Bottom Tree Striker, well, I don't think you're gonna need to get the 5 kills to get ×5 Swashbuckler, if you know what I mean. Now that we have how to get the Dire Promise out of the way and the rolls you're going to want out of the way, let's go ahead and put it up against the king of the hand cannons, Spare Rations. So, in the left corner, coming in at 150 RPM, we have our reigning champion, Spare Rations. Then, in the right corner, coming in at 150 RPM as well, the new kid on the block, fresh out the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, Dire Promise. Let's put them head to head, boys. Let's go. First things first are the stats and the hidden stats. Impact for both are dead even at 80. Range for Dire is 45, and then Spare is 39. Dire wins in the range department. Then we have stability. Both are dead even at 50. Then we get on to handling. Dire is at 61, while Spare is at 74. Spare wins the handling round. Then we have reload speed, which is 54 on Dire and 60 on Spare, so Spare wins the reload round as well. Now for the hidden stats. Aim assistance, Dire is 87, whereas Spare is 92. Spare takes another round. Then we have inventory. Dire is 60 and Spare is 57. So Dire actually wins that one, but let's be honest, no one cares about your inventory size. Then for zoom, both are dead even at 14. Then recoil, Dire is 84 and Spare is a nice solid 100. So Spare wins again. Bounce intensity, Dire is at 16 and Spare is 0. So Spare wins again. Then for bounce direction, they both tend vertical. So now if we round all this up, all those rounds that those two fought it out in the ring, we can see that Spare won in just about every single round, surprise, surprise. But on top of that, if we start looking at the perks on Spare Rations, we find the best reload perk in the game in the third column, Rapid Hit. You land a few crits, you get a fast reload, and you also get better stability. That's fantastic. It's the best reload perk in the game. And don't even get me started on Spare Rations' fourth column. We get to choose from 8 different perks in the fourth column on Spare Rations, and they're all good. I mean, multi-kill clip, rampage, kill clip, all to choose from here. And on top of that, it has the 2 best column 4 perks found on Dire Promise 2. Those being Swashbuckler and Rangefinder for all you people out there on console. So it has everything that's good about Dire Promise and more. So like you kind of see who the winner is. So I think it's pretty obvious which one you're going to want to go for. The one that's easier to farm, has better stats, and better perks. Like, what's even the point in going after a Dire Promise? Wait, what was that? Oh yeah, they're sunsetting weapons. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, I'll tell them. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Spare Rations is great, but I mean, if we think about it, it's not even going to be around in I don't know, be honest, someone at Bungie could wake up and just say, you know what, screw it, Spare Rations is done, and just sunset it, and then we've pretty much lost the best hand cannon in the game. So go out and get yourself a dire promise while you can, okay? As we don't know when Spare is gonna kick the bucket, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and there we go. Now I do need one thing from you all, and that is I need you all to comment, have you gotten this weapon yet? And if you have, what roles have you got on it? Because I'm actually really curious to know. And what roles are you chasing after? Like, are you actively trying to get, you know, the God roll for this thing? Or are you just kind of getting it here and there and then just sorting out the junk? I'm actually very, very curious. And also one more thing, I wanted to put this at the very end of the video. Thank you to everyone that has joined the channel as a member. I haven't made a post about it or like talked about it in a video. This is my very first time. You all just kind of started joining, and I can't thank you all enough. If you all do want to join the channel as a member, there'll be a little like join button next to the subscribe button. You can hit that. You don't have to. It's only if you like absolutely want to. I'll never actually ask you all to do that. And yeah, if you all did enjoy the video, then be sure to drop a like, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.